You don't have many people like this, sure, because everybody is attached to money. But I think that is sad because we lost just the money side, we lost the capacity to bring all together, all our strength to build something big. We need this mindset to come back to build big. If you don't have any philosophy, you don't know where you go. And if you don't know where you go, you don't know why you build something. And I think my only message through technology is that we need to take back what is ours. And we have a will, we have a will to act on this world, we have an imagination. This is what makes us human. And with this, we need to build a new civilization for our time. This is our responsibility to do this. A brighter world, a better world for the generation that is coming.
Welcome, Jean Arnaud. Extremely excited for this one. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for hosting me.
It's a pleasure. I had a look at your profile and what you do, and you seem to have a very diverse background. So I wanted to let you introduce yourself, and how would you define yourself if you have to?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's do it. So I'm Jean Arnaud, and I'm philosopher. I like to say tech philosopher because I like to explore technology in general and innovation. I'm also a digital artist and the co-founder of Ethos, a global hub for responsible AI innovation. Yeah. So this is how I can introduce myself.
Perfect, perfect. And diving on that topic of ethos, what's its origin? What's its fundamental pillars, and what are you trying to build there?
So that was interesting. So I had a company, and we what we were doing at the time, it was it's Nova. So we were building a scientist agent. So the goal was to empower the research process with AI. There's a long story with this company. uh, and one of my co-founders, Sam, was at the Venture Cafe. So Venture Cafe is something that is happening in Cambridge. It's every Thursday, not just in Cambridge, but in all CIC, so Cambridge Innovation Center. And the goal is to bring all innovators together. And we were at this gathering. It's happening every Thursday. And we started to chat, and we were speaking about the necessity to build a meaningful technology. And the problem that we were seeing together is that we didn't have a place to bring all the innovators, especially in AI, to think about AI. And he told me, so what's your background? Why do you think like this? Because I don't feel that it is very that this is something that you can find everywhere, right?
Mhm.
And I said, no, I think like a lot of people, they're asking themselves this thing, because if you are innovation, you can just accelerate the technology, and it's about acceleration. But what does it mean in terms of direction?
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
and there's coming at that point the philosophy. If you don't have any philosophy, you don't know where you go. And if you don't know where you go, you don't know why you build something. So I think it's a necessity that we shared, and from there we decided to create a place where people can come. So researchers, founders, industry leaders, and engineers in AI, and thought leaders, and also artists, to come all together and to discuss not only about the future of technology, but also to build responsible solutions. So that was the origin of
Mhm.
all.
I
I
love.
think it's
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I think the idea of having clarity, right, in building a startup and not just focusing on what you're doing, but really what direction is and why you're doing it, is something that a lot of companies miss, and could be, maybe a reason for their downfall in the future, maybe not. But you, I've said, I watched a couple of your previous interviews, and this idea, did it stem from, because you were in the US? So this was, by the
yeah,
way, ethos when you were in Cambridge in MIT, right?
Yeah, close by MIT and
Yeah.
Harvard. So you have Cambridge and Boston. There is just a bridge between the two cities, which makes these two cities very original in the US, because you have
Yeah.
the intellectual life, I would say, in the universities, and on the other side, it's also very intellectual, but it's made by businessmen, and
Hmm.
businesswomen. You have these two faces all together. It's very rare to have this. You have a little bit this in Palo Alto, and I think this is where you want to you want to.
Yeah. That was where I was kind of leading with this was, so you were in Palo Alto at some point as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, yeah. I studied at Stanford, but
Hmm.
also this was not planned. I mean, nothing was planned in my life in general, or the plan didn't work as I thought. And I think that's the beauty of all of it. I learned a lot by embracing opportunities. So it was an opportunity there, and I ended up at Stanford, and it was a great environment. This is also for me even more important than the university, the teachers, and the people I met there. What was an occasion for me to really thought about myself. It was a really existential crisis. I was
Mm.
coming from literature philosophy, and I was more finally interested by the studying the past than the future. I didn't embrace my old personality, and I think Stanford was really a place where you think about the future, maybe not as deep as I wanted at that time.
Mhm.
It is more made by technologists and not by philosophers. But I understood something there, is that if you study philosophy, it's not just to talk about Kant, Hegel, and all of this, but how you can, with everything you learned, invent the future. So
Mhm.
this is where there was a before Stanford and after Stanford for me.
Yeah. So embedding philosophy in the technology that we're building,
Yeah,
and this is
absolutely.
something that you saw that was kind of missing in the US, or at least in Stanford, in Palo Alto.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is missing everywhere.
Yeah.
I think we don't think enough about the word we want.
Yeah.
That's the main
I agree.
characteristic. Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
And I think we're able to have more discussion, and sometimes to slow down a little bit, to just discuss deeply about what kind of model we want for the future, for our kids, for the next generation. We would probably have a better word than what we have today. So, and I think during our conversation, this is something that will um, coming all the time. This is a problem of agency. I think we abandoned our responsibility, our duties, and our agency over the world. And I think my only message through technology is that we need to take back what is ours. And we have a will. We have a will to act on this world. We have an imagination. This is what make us human. And with this, we need to build a new civilization for our time. This is our responsibility to do this. A brighter world, a better world for the generation that is coming.
Well, that's extremely impactful, and honestly, I couldn't agree more that we have to have agency over what we do and what we build, and create the future that we want to live in. And so, a quote I love is, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And so, instead of not having this direction and kind of going with the flow of everything going on, you have this very clear vision of how you want the world to materialize. Then we have to consider that at the point of inception of what our ideas and startups will be to build this future. And so, I think it's a,
Yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
No. Go.
I think it's a good transition to the project you have Omia as well, and I kind of want to go into that because you're touching on the pieces of education, and I'm not sure what phase you're at currently with Omia, but I think previously you said that there was an initial prototype, but that the world wasn't actually ready for this level of technology in terms of like the what was this, right, the metaverse, and kind of building the simulated educational environment.
Yes. So you need to understand also that I'm coming from traditional education, not only in the academic side,
Yeah.
so philosophy, literature, all of this, but also from the business side. And before I had businesses that worked well, but it was like traditional businesses, like a coffee shop. And I had this online school that was working very well during the COVID, especially because we were one of the first to do that. So I have this story that is fun because I started before the COVID. I had like 8 people.
Yeah.
Nobody really cared about going online to have an education. I think it was a great idea to build it before the COVID, right? And when the COVID hit, I was completely prepared because this is what we were doing. So we helped a lot of school to set up the Zoom and teaching them how to use it, like to not lose the kid, and also to adapt the pedagogy. So we had this something very I would not say new because it's like a good 10 years that it exists, but yeah, it was we had this creative pedagogy and active pedagogy. So it means that a lot of things are going through hands-on project. So you work in crossing disciplinaries, skills also, and building. We learn by building and not just by staying on the chair. I never believed this as an educator, so I wanted that my school was representing something very new in terms of the approach, but also in terms of what we were offering. So we were offering modules online for kids, and everybody could compose the kind of school they wanted. So during the COVID, we had this plan a little bit because there was no school or almost. So it grew so much that I had to hire a lot of people, a lot of teachers. But it worked well. We had I learned a lot during this experience, and because I wanted always to progress, I had this idea of bringing these kids into another world where they could make feel the past. You see, my parents are historians, so my idea was to build again Rome as it was before. We had fun with my father at the time to build the
Colosseum
like built Rome was before, so he was telling me about the colors and all of this, like how it looked like at that time. And so we studied plants and all of this. So it was fun to build, and we built it with kids also. So it was interesting to build in the metaverse. And when I saw that it was working, I told myself, so let's do a company. Let's build universe in the metaverse, like interactive, something that you can build. Let's build a program also in the schools to help the schools to adopt it. And let's be even more crazy and have avatars who are speaking. Like imagine Julius Caesar doing lesson in Latin and all of this. So I think that what we invented at that time, like we planned, was really in advance. We had a lot of calls with VCs and all of this. Each time they were saying like the market is not ready. I see it. Everybody was saying this. Like it will happen. That's for sure. Like in the next 5 years. So what I try to do is to reach out my contacts and work with schools. And when I saw as a teacher, as it was difficult to bring this metaverse in the school because of so we needed to build the old tools, and it was too expensive to build it. I mean, I had my own saving, but and I kept investing my own money on this. But it was difficult to convince people for a market that was not ready.
Right.
And the red flag, and it was interesting at the time, the red flag was that we were almost the only one on the market to propose something like this. So I had several calls with Meta also because I was saying that their metaverse was so good for kids, but so bad for adults. And I tried to convince them, look, abandon your idea of having adults here. This is already a mess. What you have adults and kids in the same space. It's totally wrong. So why you don't do a safe tool for kids? And we start from here, and I will sell your model through my solution into the school. And I convinced a bit because I went like quite high in the hierarchy of Meta.
Really interesting.
But yeah. I think I had really big supporters there, and
but Mark didn't like the idea.
I think Mark would have loved this. It's just that it's a big boat, and you have people who are blocking the idea in the middle. that's the problem when you're not a startup anymore, right? So you need almost to have some labs that the founders from the beginnings understand to see the vision,
Hmm.
but unfortunately don't have at all the levels visionaries.
Right.
Uh, I had some of them on the way, and some of them they just wanted to have a regular job between 8 and 5, and
Yeah.
don't really not really interesting by inventing something or push the boundaries, because you need allies in the company to push the boundaries on their side, because you cannot have access to these people.
Right. Of course. And if you were to go back and change your approach, I suppose just with Meta, let's say, and how would you target these supposed visionaries and find the right people, the right decision makers? Would you change your approach?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. So first of all, I learned a lot because I was not in tech before. I was
Yeah.
educator. You see, suddenly my school is working like crazy just because of the COVID. So I need to hire people. I need to become a super CEO in a few months. You see, while I was just a teacher,
Hmm.
and I had position as director also, but it was not
It's
like,
definitely a big change.
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if I would do something different. What I'm sure about is that it was the right time after to pivot,
Hmm.
and we pivot. We told ourselves, okay, so this will not work with Meta. This will not work with schools also. So we are blocked, and the technology that is not done by Meta is not there anymore. It's not there yet.
Hmm.
So you will need 6 more years to have a metaverse that looks better than Meta, but with the same technology, which means that you can interact with things, you can
Right.
build things. And that was the main thing that was missing everywhere in other metaverse and other technology. And we were not able to do it ourselves. And I thought there would be a block on the VR and AR side. So we told ourselves, look, let's embrace artificial intelligence,
Hmm.
and let's reverse the whole situation. Let's start by artificial intelligence. So let's start by research. And again, I think we were visionary with this because the idea was to fight misinformation. It was also to build a trustable AI for researchers, to
Hmm.
accelerate all the research process, to do a PhD not in 3 years but in 1 year.
Hmm.
Because I saw so many, and in my own curriculum, right? We lost as researchers. We're losing so many hours to read interesting literature, but not literature related directly to your subject. So you're
Hmm.
losing a lot of time reading papers who are not really useful for you, and you're losing also a lot of time by, I'm sorry, but by correcting comma and point and
Oh, right.
all
Yeah.
these. Yes, yes, yes. And this process can just be automatized
Yeah.
by AI, right? So I started to meet a lot of researchers at Harvard and MIT, and from other universities also. So what is your blockers? Because in philosophy and science, you will not have the same type of blockers.
Hmm.
So some people, they were telling me in mathematics, for example, this is the equation. I don't want to go constantly back to my equation, and I just want to just say something, just take back my equation
Yeah.
and copy it there.
Yeah.
And this is where we started to implement voice. So we were one of the first to put voice in our tool, for
That's really
example.
cool.
Yeah,
It reminds me
yeah.
as well of I think it was Winston Churchill, and he used to say, because he used to have like I think an assistant always with him, and he would just speak, and they would just transcribe essentially what he was saying, and that way he was kind of be able to articulate his thoughts. So in a way, that kind of correlates to the way you're doing it for researchers. You can kind of just talk and have your equation maybe be changed. It's almost like a Tony Stark with Jarvis, like Jarvis, do this, and then it does exactly what you tell it to do.
Yeah, and at that time, I made a mistake. This is something I never really talk about. I talk about the success that I had in my life, but never the failures. And
Hmm.
and one of the mistake I did was, for example, to go. I thought in my French mindset, uh, I would go from Stanford, going to London, and go in Boston, and it will be easy for me. Like coming from Stanford, I will have people who were going before at MIT or Harvard, and it will be very simple to be admitted there.
Hmm.
And that was absolutely not true. That was a mistake. That was a mistake to not go back to San Francisco at the time. Not because oh, yes, because of the environment. Because I think MIT and Harvard are great intellectual environment, like very close from Europe in this sense. That's very um, theoretical,
Yeah,
very
fundamentally
uh,
based, and
and a lot in abstraction
yeah,
also. So sure, you're in America, and it's also pragmatic. But compared to California, not at all. I mean,
right.
in California, what I learned there and that I didn't find on the East Coast is the risk taking, for example.
Hmm. Hmm.
The fact that people they can bet on an idea,
Yeah,
just on an
without
idea.
even considering maybe the logic or even the potential
Yes,
of.
yes, yes. On the East Coast, the principles is really like kind of the same than in Europe. You are principle of being known first to go
Yeah,
through these universities. So there is a whole process that make people think that yes, you are ready and it will be a good investment because finally people in Europe and I think in this part, at least on the East Coast, are not just betting on the project; they are betting also on people.
yeah, that's what I enjoy as well. And I've noticed coming into North America, having kind of been a little bit everywhere, but also in France, and it's something that is missing. I think we can agree that it's very, as you were saying, theoretically based, but also in some sense almost archaic. The previous systems that have existed.
It's it's very based on rationality and rationality is good because
Hmm.
you're sure when you invest that you will have a return on investment
Right.
or almost. So this is how you limit risk, but this is not how it is in California. They like they like big words, they like big ideas,
Yeah.
they like that if they see the big dreams, they're okay, let's go for it. Let's-
And
there is like this gold rush
yeah.
mentality, you see.
I love that. And which do you think, I suppose it's more of an equilibrium, right? Kind of harnessing the advantages of that risk taking and dreamer mindset of California, but with the rationality that comes from Europe and perhaps a bit of the East Coast of the US. But I wonder, what does that really stem from? Is it a cultural difference? Is it due to regulation, some kind of historical?
I think they're a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
There is a bit of history. I mean, I remember that I was in what was the name of this town? Where Gold Rush started. So I don't remember the name of the town, but it was in California. And I this is vivid in my mind. I was coming there and there was a story. This story is amazing. So the guide is taking us through this ghost
Is it
town almost. And
Coloma? Coloma?
oh yes,
Okay.
Coloma, exactly.
Yeah. No, I just looked it up.
That was yeah. So that was Coloma, and the guy is taking us through the kind of ghost town, and he's telling us a story. This story was amazing. So he said people who get rich there were people who had a business,
Mhm.
not the people who were searching for gold. So
Interesting.
there were people who built hotel for the gold miners.
Interesting.
Uh, yeah, exactly. So it's the people who made money on the dream of the others. But that was not possible. That was not possible without the dream. That's the thing. It was not possible without the dream. And I think this is what is missing sometimes on the East Coast is the dream. Sometimes, as an investor, if you made a lot of money in your life, you need to invest not for the rationality, not for return of investment, but for humanity, for the big dream, for the impossible. But you don't have many people like this, sure, because everybody is attached to money. Uh, but I think that is sad because we lost just the money side. We lost the capacity to bring all together, all our strength to build something big. We need this mindset to come back to have to build big.
Right. And this you talk about a lot. Almost this, not a loss of ownership, but a reduction kind of the ego. And you talk about copywriting as well. Could you
Yeah.
dive a little bit more into what this collective ideology really is, right? This building for humanity and not necessarily for oneself.
Okay, so thank you for this question, because I think that's the most important mission that I have on this earth, is to not just build for myself. I realized after so many projects I had, because I was a musician,
Mhm.
and I had a tour in the whole world, and we are on Spotify, and it was
But what's the name of
this
the
is
band? Do you have a name?
it's called in Other Climes.
In other
And
times,
Climes,
climes.
yeah, you will find it on Spotify, and so I would say that this was already a way for me to understand that art, to go to a certain level, art is not enough. You need to understand also business, and I learned business through my band, which was very interesting,
Interesting.
because I didn't start the band to make money, or I didn't start the band to be famous. I started the band to be with my friends and to have a message.
Mhm.
So that was the goal, to share a message. So from my 18, I would say that my goal was always to have a message for the others. I was educator because I wanted to share. I wanted to I was on a mission to really to train the next generation to think by themselves, but also to build a new world, a brighter world. And after I wrote books, and it was the same thing. I wanted to write poetry because I took my mission very seriously. I wanted to guide humanity to the next level, and but humanity not just with technology, but with the right mindset,
Mhm.
with intelligence.
Yep.
And that's why I'm saying all the time that I am a humanist, and like really from the 16th century, the same way. We need to flourish with philosophy, science, and art, and that's the main goal. The money should just accompany this whole process for humanity. It shouldn't be the goal. If you have money as a goal, you're dry like an old stone. I'm sorry. What you want to build with money, if it stays on the account, or if the goal is just to build a tower? No, we need to build something that will stay for century, but also that help people, because you are nothing if you didn't do anything for the others.
Mhm.
You exist with the others, and you grow with the others. If you think that you built alone, that you're creating alone, that you're genius, it's just ego.
Mhm.
There, if you have a little bit of intelligence, and you see how little is our mind to know everything on this earth, you need to have the humility of the wise men and women, of les sages en français.
Yeah.
And it means that you need to understand that we don't know anything, and to think that you're a genius, it's just a mark of stupidity, because you are not able to see how much you owe to the others,
Mhm.
how much you owe to the world you live in. And I think that if you are conscious about this, you're conscious also that you are a small thing in the whole history of humanity. The only thing that you need to do is to build with the others, to guide toward the next sky, the next horizon,
Yeah.
the next humanity. And if you didn't do anything for the others, I think you didn't achieve anything on this earth.
Yeah, we're moving as a species. We're not moving as individuals. Although nowadays everything is so, people live in their own bubbles as well, and you can also imagine that with social media, everything is very self-centered on your desires and where you want to be, and that kind of takes away from when you build something in the aim of just getting money, then it's not the same as building something and creating value. And the money should follow the value. And then if you create value for people, well, you'll be rewarded for it. And so that's an ideal scenario. And I think it's a true scenario because, as you were saying, right, people that build those big dreams, whether it's money or whether it's something just else, right? If it's impact, if it's uh, something more deep, these longevity projects as well, trying to outlive your own existence by helping others and having an impact on the world.
Yeah, and I think you are absolutely right. There are different scenario, and I want to fight for my scenario, because my
Yeah.
scenario authorize us to collaborate all together. There would not be a war in my scenario because we don't want to conquer the soil of the others,
Mm-hmm.
pretending that it is ours. This is so thinking like
Narrow-minded. Yeah.
yeah, narrow-minded in the past. We are not the type of conquerors, if we can say it. We are les conquérants nouveaux sont les conquérants de l'esprit. Hein? We are
Mm-hmm.
the conquerors of mind. This is our goal.
I
We
love that.
should
Yeah.
conquer more lights.
Yeah.
More we should walk toward the truth and more truth,
Right.
not try to possess something. So this is where, for example, Nietzsche is very interesting because Nietzsche speaks about the power, and the power is something else than domination. Domination is ruled by the will of dominate people, of making them slave, to obey to one will. But the power is multiply. The power is to be all together to reach the really best of humanity, the really summit of
Mm-hmm.
humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And this, at one point, needs to be in a collaborative process, in collaborative intelligence, and no, not in a war to dominate the other. So this, for example, a crucial difference between domination and power in the Nietzsche vocabulary is fundamental in my philosophy, for example.
Mm-hmm. And I want to touch a bit on that, and who has impacted your philosophy the most. You obviously have talking about Nietzsche. I think you previously mentioned Montaigne as well, and I'm just curious who has impacted you the most, and what are some of the ideas that
So, so,
resonate the most.
so I've been raised in a family. I have a very interesting family because my grandparents were workers.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have the chance to go. They were immigrants, first of all, and they didn't have the chance really to have an education. So they were valuing a lot education. And my both parents are coming from this 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 family where education was fundamental and it was a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And they pushed the boundaries so much that they integrated the best school, though the equivalent of Harvard. So it's l'École Normale Supérieure in
Mm-hmm.
France, and they are now renowned researchers in what they're doing. But my parents really educated ourselves not to have diplomas, but to have skills, and that was very important for them. That they didn't really care about the type of university we could go in. What
Mm-hmm.
they wanted is that we are able to read by ourselves, to have a critical judgment, to be able to inspire the others by our actions. They try to teach us empathy. They try to teach us to have our own confidence in our own philosophy,
Right.
and to constantly invent new things. And I think that's better gift I had in my life to have my parents as educator, uh, because their values are so anchored in the humanism of the 16th, 15th, and 16th century. So Rabelais, Montaigne, for example, but also in the Enlightenment. So Voltaire, um, Kant, and after also all the positivism from Zola, all these people who were defending the les oppressés, the
The
oppressed
oppressed.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents were all the time teaching us that because we had this education, we need to put in the service of the others, of the voiceless,
Mm-hmm.
the voice that had the chance to shape. And I think that's a beautiful message. And so yeah, I read a lot of people in Greek and Latin. Huh? That was my initial training.
Yeah.
Uh, so I would say Seneca, Plotinus, Porphyrius, and yeah, all the uh, pre-Socratic
Yeah.
authors. A lot of Latin and Roman and Greek authors.
Interesting.
I would
And
say.
not post-Socratic, did you look into Plato? Because what you're saying kind of reminds me of Plato's Academy, right? Building trust in people, educating them, and
That's no, but you are absolutely right. That's fun to have discussion with a French that understand me very well. I have the feeling. Yes, that's why I called my school Open My Academy, and
Oh,
that
right.
was not
Okay.
it was not just a word like this. It was really to yeah to echo
Yeah.
uh, the the plateau. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, hopefully it lasts even longer than Plato's. But
yeah, I hope so.
on the point of education, it's an interesting one because you mentioned skills versus diploma, and from what we can kind of see nowadays with higher education as well as, I don't know, tuition fees in general with different institutions, it seems that as well as the job market, are we kind of too narrow-minded in our institutions in giving out diplomas, not focusing on these skills? And so if that's the case, how would we reform this? And one point I want to maybe touch upon is I'm curious nowadays about like decentralized education. So you see, for example, Argentina's president hinting at this, kind of breaking apart the central educational system into more decentralized one. Have you thought about a world like this, and what are your thoughts?
That's a very interesting question again. I don't have a clear answer on this, so I will just try to expand without expanding too
It's a
much.
lot of different points to touch upon. So,
Yes, yes, yes. So the first thing is that I think that I'm very critical against the academy because I think it's obsolete. It's not
mhm,
for our world anymore in many cases. So, for example, a diploma. What is a diploma? It marks a state of your skills and your knowledge
mhm,
at a point T. So uh, I am a good example of this. I have so many careers, and I am I'm doing so many things different. I'm writing book, I'm writing articles, I'm still in philosophy, but I'm not in the philosophy as I did when I was a researcher. It's totally different,
mhm,
and it's not the same skills. I'm not doing any more Greek and Latin. I'm reading just text in my language. So, for example, my diplomas will say, "Oh, this guy is able to teach in a university level in Greek and Latin." That's no, I'm not. I was able when I was 27 or 28. I'm 43 and I'm not able anymore because it's 10 years that I'm not doing Greek and Latin.
mhm.
So at that time, I was good and I had diplomas. But now, if you ask me to teach Latin, I would be able to probably, but Greek, absolutely not. I never taught Greek. I am not able to pretend to say, oh, yeah, my diploma say that, so I am able to. So I will need to go against my diploma
Yeah.
to I don't feel comfortable with that.
Mhm.
And I will probably not be a good teacher. Or it will take me again 3 or 4 years to get back to my level that I had at this time. But I developed other skills. So now I'm more in business. I'm more entrepreneur. So I am able to have many more good advices in this field than in Greek. Um, so that I am an embodiment
Yeah.
of a person that for who a diploma doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, what is important is to keep a training for all your life. I saw also, I would say something that is very taboo, but I saw so many teachers were not doing any effort the last 20 years
Mm.
in their field that they are completely behind.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's not completely true when you are in history because the
Yeah.
knowledge is a little more in science, in biology, and in all these fields where you need to keep up. But how many teachers are supposed to teach these things without being able to keep up? That's the truth.
I can
And
fully attest to that. Being in computer science, sorry to interrupt, on the like professors that I had, a lot of them are not up to date with what's going on in today's world, and a lot of the content is usually outdated. So,
so the only solution for this is that to have a mindset, a different mindset. So the mindset would not be to have a PhD, for example, but
mhm,
that there is no a stop with a PhD. It's education is a lifelong journey. That's all. There is no other way to think about education.
mhm,
And now you have diverse way to be educated by expert recognized by academy. And I still think that it is useful to have these people because they have the academy is guaranteeing you that there is a state of knowledge on which we agree
Yeah.
on. But also, you need some people who are thinking out of the box, because the academy has the tendency to 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 close the door to the new ideas, and we saw
Well,
this so
it's
many times.
almost fundamentally ingrained right in the academy itself. If you want it to be and have this stability across all the information that we agree upon, you can't be out exploring everything else
Yes,
quickly.
Y- yes, and a lot of experts now can also put their text directly on internet.
Yeah.
You can follow them directly and not wait 6 months that they are published by a scientific magazine. So the knowledge itself and the manner we transmit it is changing a lot.
Mhm.
Uh, I but but I, the opposite excess is also dramatic, because this is the side of
Yeah.
opinion. So on one side you have the excess of the academism that can slow down the knowledge, and on the other side you have the corruption of the knowledge by the opinion,
Yeah. And it becomes
which means
almost
that
anarchic, right? Everyone's just
exactly everybody
yelling.
thinks that they are expert
Yeah.
and that they can teach everything, and it's not the case, because when you have a 10 years PhD, it's not the same thing that if you just study 1 year on your side. It can be,
Mhm.
but it's kind of it's not so common. So that's the two excess we need to avoid, I think.
Right. We have to find a balance kind of between the two. It's a
Yeah.
great point. It's been extremely insightful. We were talking about right before on the timing in Stardust, but I think you already touched upon those points. But I suppose, yeah, how do you find timing in the right ideas?
So I think you're right. I'm doing a lot of things, but everything is about organization. So I have this ADHD, and so I have a lot of ideas, and I have the problems that you probably know about this, that you have difficulty to organize yourself, to prioritize. So I found a very good strategy for this.
Okay.
I have my notebook,
Yeah.
and I ritualize basically everything. So I have a very strict program. So I think I learned this in United States, by the way, to really organize my time, like gym,
Yeah.
uh, hobbies, writing, reading. Everything is in the program. So I have the feeling that I'm working all the time.
Mhm.
Not just a feeling. I think it's kind of true. Uh, I can be flexible on my vacation time, or I'm leaving some even my I would say even my uh, flexible time is kind of framed. So
Yeah.
I don't authorize myself um, a lot of contemplation, because in the past I lost a lot of time, and I prefer uh, the life when I organize it and visualize it, because I see my ideas coming somewhere, which was not the
Mm.
case before. So people, they can tell me sometimes, "Oh, but that's sad because you don't meditate anymore. You don't have this ideas game in your mind." I say that's true, but also this didn't make me more happy. So I prefer uh, the life I chose like this. I can do different things, but it's
Yeah.
very organized.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what's one of those maybe an interesting or unique hobby that you're mentioning here? Is there something that is kind of apart from your work?
Kind of. I'm reading a lot still.
Yeah.
I still write a lot. I'm doing like exercise of writing to not lose it.
Yeah.
So it's like playing piano. I'm doing this also. I play
Cool.
piano. I play guitar. And yeah,
Are we
I
gonna
just
hear a new song coming out soon?
I'm no, but you're laughing, but I am doing a lot of things with AI now.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it might come.
That's so cool.
Uh, yeah, I'm trying.
I'll also
I voice and all of this, and I'm trying to do something. Yes.
That's so cool. I'll put your links as well to the art that you created. I had a look, and as well of your website and everything. But I just want to give you the chance to end this off with what are you looking forward to? What are your next steps? And how should people follow your journey?
So they should follow their dream and not mine.
No,
Uh,
your journey, like your things that are you're
oh,
doing,
my,
but that
okay,
is true though.
okay. So my if they want to follow me, they can find me on Instagram. They can find me on LinkedIn. You will find my art. You will find my things in education. If they want to join any of the activity I have, so it can be about education. They want to write something. I am a part of AI magazine also, so if they want to
Okay.
write articles, they can reach out. If they want to organize a conference and events with Ethos, they are more than welcome also. If they want to participate to an exhibition in art, I'm doing a lot of things in art also.
Mhm.
So they are more than welcome and to enjoy everything I built, and have some visibility through me if I can. Again, I am more than happy to share. I think that ideas are made to be shared, to be transmitted, and to spread all
Yeah.
around the world. So I'm not attached to my idea or to
Yeah.
my genius. I think I am made to have a lot of ideas, like everybody here. I don't think necessarily that um, I will have some ideas that other will not have at one point. That would be also very uh,
Egoist,
narrow-minded.
narrow-minded.
That
Yeah.
I think that something that I understood also during my journey is that sometimes if you stay a little bit silent in a room, you will understand that people they sometimes have the same idea than you. You were not just the first to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was also a good part of my journey that um, you become more humble because you just discover more and you just realize that there was a lot of ego in the high consideration of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I started to I'm trying to less considerate myself and more the relationship that I have the other to grow. That's my thing.
That's a great message to end off. But thank you so much for all of your time.
Yeah, no problem.
It's
Thank
really
you.
been a pleasure. And maybe Ethos will have a Montreal chapter eventually.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that we will
It
have
will
a
be a
lot of people.
global
Yeah,
community.
exactly, exactly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's been a
Bye bye.
pleasure. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Merci. Au
Au
revoir.
revoir.